let's embark on a profound exploration with our esteemed guest, Gabi Brasil, on Wisdom in the Waters, Episode 3, Trusting Birth. As a mother of 2 babies born unassisted at home, Gabi unveils the essence of birth, centered on a profound trust in the body. Join us as we delve into the mental surrender needed, discussing the beauty of lotus birth and embracing the transformative power of self-service in childbirth. Immerse yourself and let Gabi's wisdom wash over you. Welcome to Wisdom in the Waters, Episode 3, Trusting Birth. Today our special guest is Gabi Brasil. I'm going to invite her onto this call. I'm very looking forward to this conversation. Gabi is a good friend of mine. She was also my client. So looking forward for you all to hear about this beautiful birth story. Here, we made it. There's something in the air. How are you? Welcome, Gabi.
Thank you. How's everyone?
Welcome. Yay. We've got a few people on. Amazing. And people will come and join, and we'll post the replay afterwards so everyone can watch it later. Yay. Oh, so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Gabi, tell us a little bit about your birth stories. You had 2 free births at home.
Yeah.
They were planned or unplanned?
Both of them were planned to be home births, as I never really resonated with the hospital systems anywhere in the planet. So somehow I always had this decision in my mind since when I was a child playing with my dolls, and I would say to my friends, I'm just staying home to have my baby. And I remember my friends saying, but like, why don't you take to the hospital? I was like, no, I'm having the baby here, So I don't know where like this came from, this urge to birth at home, but it was something that I always had with me since I can remember,
Amazing.
Yeah, and I think it got a bit stronger once I saw like a neighbor coming back from her birth. She was much older than me. I was probably like 7, 8, and I was playing at her house. And then when she came back from birth, I was there waiting to see the baby. And she had a cesarean, an unplanned cesarean, and I remember she was so much in pain, and was a lot of like, I don't know, that scared me. And I was like, oh, but she just had a baby. Why everything else happened to her,
Yeah.
So anyway, not say that cesareans are bad. They are not bad. They are really good when they need to exist, But yeah, so my first baby was born back in 2020. And I had a lovely midwife called Robin Dempsey. And the whole preparation for this birth with her was incredible. Like, all of our appointments were like sometimes like 2 hours appointments. I was just talking about me, how I was feeling. Sorry, I have my nose blocked. And she was always like in tune with me, wanted to know what was going on, how was my relationship with my partner, and how I felt about birth at home. And it was like incredible appointments. And during this whole preparation, because I saw her from 12 weeks until 3 months after the birth, she gave me so much strength for me to birth by myself unassisted. Because what happened the day that Caetano, my first son, was born, she didn't make it. I mean, she arrived, but she arrived 20 minutes late, But I wasn't like bad or missing
Mm-hmm.
her existence around me at that moment. I was actually super glad she wasn't there because
Mm-hmm.
down inside, secretly, I always wanted to birth by myself. My partner was with me, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and my friend and doula Amy Lou was present as well with her 2-year-old daughter, and it was just incredible. I'm just gonna try to resume the whole birth because
Of course, it's so much to get through.
yeah, uh, uh, I I had him at 39. What I want to say is that the like my midwife's care was enough for me to feel confident enough to birth this child by myself and
Gosh,
not like abandoned because she didn't arrive on time.
mm-hmm.
And in our appointments, I always told her like that I always wanted to birth by myself, but because it was my first experience, I wasn't really sure. And she's always like, "Oh, you can birth by yourself. Like you really don't need me. You
Mm-hmm.
might after to check the baby, but to be honest, you don't need me. You know." I was like, okay. Anyway, my son was born at 39 plus 4, and my water broke. I remember that day I woke up like I was already super over of being pregnant, and up that day I had like a session of acupuncture, and then I went to swim, and I did like I don't know 10 laps,
Wow.
no stopping. I ate, and then I went home, and then I had like a sleep, and then I was before the sleep I was like, oh my god, today I have to write my birth plan. Edit. And I was like, once I wake up, I write my birth plan. So I woke up 6 p.m. by my head, like punching my belly. And then
Wow.
when I stood up, my water broke. I called my partner, said to him to come over, and then I messaged my midwife, and then my midwife said, your water just broke, like until
We've got
the
time.
yeah, until the labor starts, who knows how long it's gonna take, like
Yeah.
4 days, 5, who knows? I was like, yeah, true. But anyway, I was like, okay, I'm gonna write my birth plan. Obviously, I didn't write my birth plan. Anyway, I was always in contact with her, and it was 6 p.m. So around, I would say 10. I don't remember if it was 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I think it was 10. I started feeling my first contraction. And my friend Dula, Amy Lou, she was living in Blue Mountains. And she's like, do you want me to come? I was like, don't need to come. Like, who knows when this baby's going to come? Probably like tomorrow or the day after tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how she felt. She's very like, Amy is very like, she works with telepathy, like sometimes, you know.
Mm-hmm. Very in tune
Yeah,
with her surroundings, and yeah,
probably not telepathy with me, but telepathy with like
with
the
the
divine.
baby.
Yeah. And she's like, okay, maybe I'll go. I just feel like I should be there. And I'm like, okay, fine. Then 11 o'clock, she arrived like 11:30. I called her. Look, she called me around 9 something. 10 o'clock, I had my first contractions. 11:30, 11:15, she arrived. And then I had the worst contractions. My contractions started like really badly from the first one, you know. They were
Like strong.
super strong, super full on. I was like, oh my god, I thought that it was like an increase of pain, but my pain started like
At the end already.
I think I had fractures that were like, okay, and then I couldn't talk anymore.
Wow. So you went straight to transition. There was no pre-labor. The pre-labor was the swimming. It was the birth plan writing. You already did the work.
And then I remember like when I had like a pile of clothes to fold, and in my birth video I'm folding the clothes. And then I told Felipe, oh, after I finish these clothes, I'm gonna write the birthing plan. And then Felipe is like, you're crazy, I'm not gonna write it.
The baby's coming.
It's coming. Anyway, from 10 o'clock until 4:52, I had crazy contractions. I remember like feeling so like, oh my God, I don't wanna. I was trying to hold the pain as much as I could, which in my opinion is wrong, because the good like advice I would give to people who want to birth so, is to surrender and try not to control, because you cannot control. Like there is no fucking, like, no fucking way. There is one thing you cannot control is a birth. You just like just give your body as an instrument to the divine do the work, you know, and relax. I mean, you cannot relax, but relax, you know.
But relax, yeah.
I don't know, somewhere else, like 5
kilometers. Letting your logical mind like not take over in that moment, and really surrendering and stepping out of your body.
Forget to have a mind.
Yeah.
Forget it. Let the motor part of you do the work, because it's gonna work well. Even if there is something that's it's not gonna work, your body's gonna tell you, look, this is not gonna work the way I need like help. You know, you're gonna get this message. But you have to tune. You must tune. Anyway, I was trying all the time to hold, and in my whole life, when I have to jump to go to a different level in my life, I'm always holding, and I was like, fuck, Gabrielle, you are just doing this again, like in the birth, you know, just let it go and relax. Anyway, at some point I decided to relax, and I went to the bathroom, and obviously when I sat on the toilet, the baby started coming, like he started crowning, and then I was like, oh, I don't want to have a baby in the bathroom.
In the toilet.
And then I walked to the pool, and I entered the pool, and I would say like, as soon as I get inside of the pool, he went back inside. I was like, oh my God, he went back inside. What do I do? And like, my friend was like, just wait. I was like, is he ever, like, I didn't know it was a boy. And I was like, is the baby ever coming out? And like, she's like, yeah. And then like, honestly, as soon as I got in the bath, probably like 8 minutes, he was out, you know.
Wow.
And it was all fine, you know, like, then 20 minutes later, my midwife arrived, the placenta came, I birthed the placenta 45 minutes after. It's good to say that when you have a water birth, usually the placenta takes longer than if you not in the water. But it was fine. I was like, the contraction.
Do you think that maybe because you didn't labor because there's a difference, of course, between birthing in water and then laboring in water. So laboring would be you spent the whole labor in the water, and then you either get out or stay in the water to birth the baby. But then there's the birth where you stepped into the water. Do you think maybe getting into the water just for the birth may have helped with that placenta, with that timing? So if it were...
I always I remember I read somewhere, or someone told me, don't stay too long in the water, like try to release your pain, you know, because sometimes it can delay the process, you know.
Yeah.
So I had that in my mind, so I didn't get in the water at all. I literally got just to birth, because I was like, I cannot stand this fucking pain, and I'm not gonna be in the water just to release the pain and make the process longer, you know. Because somehow, even if you want to have a painkiller, because let's say being in the bath works as a painkiller, you have to face the bloody drama and the bloody mutilation of your body. So, you know, so I decided No,
Enfrenta. You're gonna face it.
yeah,
Face it there and then.
exactly. Anyway, the baby came, was all fine. Placenta came 45 minutes. Baby was perfect, beautiful. It was an amazing birth. It was so like there was so many learnings that I actually learned for the next birth. So 3 years, almost 3 years after, I gave birth to my daughter Yara. Same midwife. A lot of people, oh, you're gonna do the same midwife, you're gonna use the same midwife, but she didn't make it. I was like, that's the reason why I'm gonna have her again, because I hope she doesn't make again, so I can have my baby by myself, you know. And anyway, I had like Maite as a doula, but my baby actually was born at 37 plus 4, and Maite was in Bali, but I had met Mara before.
Yeah.
And,
So we built that just to let everyone know that the way we work is we have each other as a backup doula. So all our clients meet both myself and Mara, and in case of any emergency or, you know, I happen to be away at that time, you know, Gabi was comfortable and felt safe and understood who she was working with, so it wasn't someone new. I think that's also a big part of in a system or in the hospital. Knowing who you're going to have around you during your birth is so important, because that can change the space, the dynamic, the energy in the room.
Yeah, you should always like in your birth space, like it's like when you are having sex. I know that some people like to be seen having sex, but most of us, we don't like, you know, we like to be in our intimacy. We don't want anyone looking, you know.
For sure, for sure. So you want to feel, if you're going to have someone watching, you want to feel at least comfortable
Exactly.
with the person that's watching.
People, you know. Anyway,
yes, Martina just said he's sacred. Yeah, for sure.
It's not a concert that you are paying to go and watch, you know.
Ashe.
So you should know who is gonna be stepping on your like a sacred like realm, you know. But anyway, second daughter, same midwife, Robin Dempsey, lovely, amazing. I triple recommend her 1,000 times. Maite was my doula. Unfortunately, she was in Bali. So the day I finished work on a Friday, the 11th, at 7:30, I left the CBD. I was already over as well. Not being pregnant, but over the planet, over everything. So I finished my work, came back, and then I told my partner, let's swap the rooms with, we have 3 rooms here in the house. And I want to swap like our room with our son's room, because I thought it was a bad idea. And I was like, tomorrow let's swap the room, take everything from one room to another, and let's organize this house to birth this baby. Also, we had just moved recently in April. She was born in August, and I was in the biggest denial of my life in organizing this house. You know. Anyway, the morning she was, the day she was born, in the morning I took my son to a kids party, and in this kids party, my water broke, and it doesn't break like at least mine. Didn't break like, oh my god, water
just like a little bit, like a slow release.
Yeah, it's slow release, you know. Some people like break, like I would say, like very like crazily,
like the movies.
Yeah, like the movies, but mine was not like the movies. So I felt something in my vagina wet. I'm like, I'm gonna go and see, you know. I thought like maybe it's the mucus, you know, but the mucus plug. But maybe it's water. And then I went there and it was water. I was like, oh.
Not yet.
No, and I was like there in denial, in the party, surrounded by blueies. And I'm like, oh my God. What do I do? And then after half an hour, I called my husband. And then I told him, look, the water broke. I'm here. I'm going to drive back soon. I will call Robbie, my midwife, who was in holidays as well. But she was already driving back. She was in holiday in Perisher, like in the snow. So it's not that close. I think it's 5 hours driving. She was on her way, but she would arrive here around 6:30 here in Sydney, right? In her house. So I had the second midwife, because when you do, for those who haven't like birthed yet, you usually get like two midwives when you do a home birth. In the same case as the doulas, like if one is not there, the other one can attend. And sometimes you get three. I had three at this time because Robbie knew she was going to be away. So anyway, I messaged Robbie, my first midwife. Then I messaged Hannah, my second midwife. So Robbie said, I'm on my way back, but just keep in touch with Hannah, and Hannah is going to let me know everything that. But as soon as I get home, I go straight to your home. And I was like, yeah, all good. It's fine. Like, I haven't felt baby moving since the water broke. So perhaps I tell Hannah to come over. This was like 12:30, 1 o'clock. I tell Hannah to come over around like 5:30 just to check, you know. As soon as I got home, I called my two friends who are no mothers. They don't know anything about like giving birth or anything. I called them and I told them, can you guys please come over to help me organize the house, because my water broke, and if I follow the same pattern that I had in my first birth, my contractions will start in 5 hours. And then they came, and like also I had messaged Maite and Mara. Mara was all the time like, do you want me to come? I was like, no, it should be fine. And I'm not gonna have the baby now, you know, but perhaps come around 6 o'clock or 7. I don't remember what I said. No, I think I said 7.
The joke afterwards was that you organized everyone to come late so you could have.
Yeah, I told all the wives and the doulas, can you please just come around like 7 or 8, which was after my baby was born, you know, but it wasn't something planned.
No, of course.
Anyway, my friends came and we were like cleaning the house. My 3-year-old like boy was running like there is no tomorrow, and he was like crazy as fuck running around, very naughty. And I was physically doing work, like carrying things, and I didn't stop. 5 o'clock we finished, and then I told my friends like, hey, if you guys want to go, just go, it's fine. And they were like, no, we're gonna stay here and wait for someone else to arrive, you know. At least you have Felipe and someone else to like look after
Help you, of course.
Because usually my births, I like my partner with me all the time, and ever there to do the other stuff, you know. That's how I
because
like.
If for anyone that doesn't know, like for a home birth, there's a lot more preparation in the sense of the space. You know, if you have a birth pool, you have to fill up the pool or be changing the water, making sure it's warm. So there's a lot of work involved to hold that space for the birthing family. You know, for you to be focused on your work, birthing and laboring, but then to have someone else organizing the space for you.
Yeah, so anyway, I finished 5 o'clock. Then I told my friends and my partner, I'm just gonna have a shower, because Hannah, the second midwife, come at 5:30. So I had a shower, everything was fine, put like a few candles around, you know. Then I was like trying to make this house into a birth space, because before I was just organizing the shit around. Put like some incense, like music was playing since we arrived, you know. I was trying to create like this birth home. Felipe put the fire out, and it was a very hot day. What happened after? Oh my god. Okay, so I left the shower. 5:30, my second midwife arrived, and she checked the baby because the baby hadn't moved since like 12:30 when the water broke. And she checked the heart, and the baby was fine. And she's like, "Hey, I was 5:30. I had my first contraction. She arrived like 5:40, so I had like 2 contractions before she arrived. So she arrived. I had another one. So I still could talk to her, not like first birth that I couldn't talk. So I talked to her. I was like, "No, Hannah, go back. I think this baby is just gonna come around like 8 o'clock." It was 5:40 in the afternoon. And then she's like, "Okay." But she said like, "Okay, like, okay." So she left. She left. And I was also in contact with my other midwife, Robbie, my first. Then I'm in the kitchen, like talking to my first midwife on a message. And then my husband is changing my son in the bedroom where the pool was. And I just heard them screaming because my son like slapped my partner on the face, and my partner already heard that I was having contractions, and they were start getting stronger. So and my 2 friends were in the living room. And then like my midwife wrote like, "So how are you feeling?" And then I started the message, and then I couldn't finish, so I sent her without finishing. And then she's like, "Oh my god, this Gabriela's gonna have this baby like soon." And then as soon as I sent her message like where I just said like half of the stuff I should have said, I start having the craziest contractions ever. And then I screamed. I was like, "Felipe, stop like fighting with Caetano and come over." And then one of my friends stayed with Caetano, played with him around because he was like crazy.
He knew he could feel it.
Yeah, my other friend was helping with the towels and everything, and like putting water in the pool. She had asked me an hour before, "Should I start putting water in the pool?" I was like, "No, don't need to put water in the pool." So if you are having a home birth at home and you have a pool,
put the water in the pool.
Put the water in the pool before. Even like I don't know if it's the baby's gonna be born just in 10 hours. Leave water in the pool. Then we start like heating the pool with like water. It should have water. Anyway, so she was like she was trying to fill the pool, and my birth was like the process was going super fast. At this time, I learned the lesson, so I released my body because, as I said, my first birth, I was always trying to, no, like the contractions were coming, I was like, "Oh no, please go away," like, and this one was like, "Okay, calm," I decided to just surrender. And honestly, the minute I was like, "Okay, you can come," oh my god, the portal opened like, and then like my baby was born 6:33 p.m. First contractions 5:30. She was born 6:33 p.m. And probably the whole process I had 12 contractions.
Wow.
And my midwife says that the active birth was probably like 8 minutes.
Amazing.
So I couldn't. She came in my kitchen because I couldn't walk to the pool,
Mm-hmm.
and also it wasn't full. Uh, came in the kitchen almost like through my pants. My partner had to pull down my pants because I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have like a nice video, a nice photos. We didn't have the first one. We had like my day was supposed to take the photos and do some videos. In my first birth, like this other friend of mine, Maria, who is an awesome photographer, she actually took the photo that Maite put in the advertisement of this live. So we didn't have like nice photos or nice videos, but we do have some footage.
It's
And
beautiful. I watched it. It's great.
my
It captured perfectly.
yeah, my partner is a video editor, so he managed to do something like to do a miracle there. So the baby came. My placenta this time came 15 minutes after. As soon as Yara was born, it started getting super cold, but it wasn't because I was giving birth. It got cold.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as like a baby born, you usually have to wrap them so they feel warm because in the womb they are warm. And I kind of forgot, but Felipe asked my friend to get the towels and we wrapped her. Caetano saw everything and he was really happy. He couldn't believe like a baby, a human had like arrived. How? Like he was like, oh my God, the baby. Oh no. Anyway, I walked to my bedroom to sit down and then my placenta was born. I just put it like in a bucket, checked my placenta. Everything was perfect. Usually, if the placenta is broken, we have to go to the hospital because I can have some bleeding.
The hemorrhaging.
Yeah, forgot the word. So anyway, it was all fine. Both of the midwives arrived 20 minutes later. Mara arrived around the same time. Everyone arrived at the same time. It was so impressive. And it was just amazing. Yara stayed connected to her placenta. We did a lotus birth this time. First time on first birth, we cut the umbilical cord 4 hours after the baby was born. And this time I decided to have a lotus birth because I didn't want to be like invasive, and also I want to try something different.
Mm-hmm.
First time I turned my placenta into capsules. I had all of them. Usually people say that helps with the production of your milk. There is no scientific proof, but I always believe placenta is sacred,
Mm-hmm.
and it feeds our babies, so it must have a lot of nutrients, right? So I thought it was a good idea to put it back in my body, and I was happy with that. But this time I want to try something different, so I did a lotus birth, which is basically you keep the placenta attached to the baby
Mm-hmm.
until it breaks by itself. The whole process is super simple. We have to keep a bucket, bowl, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, my placenta bowl was the same for my placenta with my first son,
Oh,
which
beautiful.
which is literally like a Kmart bowl that costs $5. Uh, so you usually put the placenta there, connect to the baby, and you have to wash with warm water, warm to really like hot warm water.
Mm-hmm.
You wash it off, then you put the placenta in a muslin cloth, put some salt, and put some herbs. Can be whatever herbs, like a sage. I think I had sage, mint, rosemary, thyme. It was a combination. It was a blend that a friend of mine used for her birth
Mm-hmm.
before mine. So and we use like a salt. So you put the salt, you washed, you put the salt, then you put the herbs and wrap. Is Maite there? Hello.
Hello. I can still hear you. Oh, lost you.
So again, you washed, salt, herbs, then you wrapped back, and then that's it. You wait.
Beautiful. And it
Obviously,
was 3 days, wasn't it? 3 days.
for
And
3 days.
it released on its own.
For 3 days. It can be a bit difficult, like to carry sometimes, but after the first 5 hours, you learn how to carry a baby and
the
a
placenta.
package. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I don't think it should be like a obstacle for people who do it. It's easy. It's super easy. And I really like the whole process to have like that organ there, you know. It's not just an organ, it's like so sacred. It kept your baby alive for so long. It's like the baby's twin, you know.
For sure. Robin Lim from she's practicing and has a beautiful non-for-profit organization in Indonesia and in a few places around the world. And she talks about the placenta as being the forgotten chakra. Like in Hindu, it's Ganesh, it's its own deity. So, you know, to separate that so soon from the child, you know, it almost doesn't seem the natural process, I guess. You know, and almost 3/4 of the baby's blood is still in the placenta straight after birth. So, you know, waiting 3 to 4 hours, you know, we say 3 minutes, but in reality, it's not the placenta's blood, it's your baby's blood. And I think the language that's used around that and the knowledge has been so far removed, you know, in birth and the meaning behind, you know, all the processes. So I think changing the language and
also this has been attached to that organ, sacred organ, for like his whole time. That's inside of you, and for a reason, you know.
Of course,
and it feels like really brutal to cut straight away. You know, like, oh my God, give me that back. This is mine. It was with me for, you know, 10 months, you know, or more, you know. Let it go like by itself, you know. Let me say goodbye to each other naturally. So her cord broke after 3 days. Can take us sometimes like 10 days. I've heard 15 days as well. But it gets really dry soon. It's really crazy. So I was so amazed to see that. But yeah, we still have the placenta here. We still don't know what to do. It's in the
beautiful.
freezer. Yeah, but we're gonna find
and creative like it's beautiful as well that you created this ceremony. You know, you've had your lotus birth and you get to create another ceremony, whether that's planting it with a tree, or whatever that may be, giving it back to the ocean. I heard a beautiful story at this conference. This girl, her placenta, they took it to the ocean where she, like near the family's home, and now as an adult, like she loves swimming there. She has like a really big connection to that spot. That's
really good.
It
was like an amazing experience. I super recommend birth at home, like birthing at home and doing a lotus birth. Or if you're not gonna do a lotus birth, let the umbilical cord give all the blood from the placenta to the baby until it's not finished. Don't cut it, you know. You're gonna see the cords again.
Wait for the white.
Wait for the white.
And is it correct to say that I hear a lot in Amy Lou, your first doula's work? She's really big in the birth scene, I guess, if we're going to call it like the birth space, and is a big advocate for sovereignty and, you know, free birth. And I've heard her speak a lot about your birth and her experience, you know, because I believe that that was the first time she witnessed a free birth. And then she went on to birth her third son, Solomon, free birth. Yeah, so it's so beautiful to, you know, to be able to have these connections with people, and, you know, for you to experience something so profound that, you know, changed someone else's life, and for you to share this knowledge, you know, it's
true. Like Amy Lou was like a good inspiration for me to have like a home birth, and somehow it was a good inspiration for her to have her free birth, you know. So it's like it's just so incredible, you know.
yeah.
Was like one of the few people that I knew that had a home birth before me, and was so passionate about it the way that I was. I even a friend of mine back in Brazil who had a home birth, she had a horrible home birth, you know. Her second baby she birthed at the hospital because her home birth wasn't great.
Wow.
So it that you should find like the right professionals. What happened with this friend of mine is that she decided to have a home birth like when she was 36 weeks. So she didn't have the whole process, you know, and at the end it wasn't like a great experience for her. But with Amy Lou, like she had told like had already like 2 home births, one through the hospital, and one with the same midwife I had my 2 Robin Dempsey, and that was how I connected to Robin. So yeah, like she was like a massive inspiration for me, and then I was really happy that somehow I was an inspiration for her to have like her third baby in a free birth.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing. Oh wow, thank you. And we've spoken a bit about it. I keep saying Gabi would be an amazing doula, and I think you're already doing the work. I think you sharing your story, and, you know, whether it's directly like, you know, what you're doing right now, but I think people keep an eye out for Gabi and reach out to, you know, share these stories and have the conversations, because it's amazing and very inspirational. I know if I have another one, definitely
Yeah.
I'll be calling you up.
I have a friend, she says that she wanted like me to be like her midwife. I was like, but how am I gonna be a midwife? I don't have any like qualifications. Like, you better get one because you're gonna be my midwife. I was like, okay, fine. But we should encourage each other to just like birth a little bit more like freely. Even if you wanna have a birth in a hospital, it can still be free and on your way.
Ashe. I think that's so beautiful. I think advocating for yourself, or having a team of people, like you said, know who you're working with, know who's in your space, know exactly what you want. Even if you didn't have time to write your birth plan, have the people around you know exactly what you need and what you want in that space, so you can free birth. And I love that you said you can free birth in the hospital. A beautiful thing is being able to walk into the space and be like, I don't want any vaginal exams. I don't want, you know, X, Y, Z. I need you to hold space and be there to help me if something does go in a different direction and isn't going the way things, you know, if there's something unsafe, that's when you step in. But I love that. And
yeah, you can honestly have your baby anywhere. You just need to, like you said, like be confident with yourself, believe yourself, let like everything go, and bloody surrender, because your like human bodies, they have been doing that since we exist in this planet. So it's I would say the oldest like medicine practice ever, you know.
for sure. Thank you so much, Gabi.
No worries.
It's been such a pleasure to have you, and I'm sure it won't be the last time we speak here on Wisdom in the Waters and in life. And thank you for sharing your stories and wisdom. And yeah, I look forward to working with you, and, you know, for the special people that you touch you know, with the lives.
Yeah,
And
for your like a lovely work. You and Mara were very great. Like Mara was like perfect here, you know, with everything that happened after, you know. So she was really caring with my son as well. He needed like some attention after my friends left. So thank you.
thank you. Well, we'll see you soon. Thank you, everyone that joined our live. And we'll catch you. Have a beautiful Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah, you
I
too.
won't see you for a little bit. Thank you. Ciao.
See